Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep-end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer to learn more. See you this summer.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Stock up and save big on shoes, tops, dresses, accessories, and more must-haves for summer. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we've got a massive stack of sources for you. We're looking at 13 major news headlines from India and, well, really around the world for June 8th, 2026.
Yeah, and on the surface, this list looks like just a total chaotic mix. I mean, we've got mass student protests, we've got Middle Eastern missile strikes, some really tragic local stories, and even a cricket debut in there.
Right, which sounds random, but our mission for you today is we're not just reading the news, we are connecting the dots. The underlying theme of this deep dive is basically systems under stress.
Exactly. We're talking about how traditional institutions, regulators, these huge geopolitical alliances are just, they're cracking. And we're seeing how a new generation is kind of forcing them to adapt in real time.
And a quick disclaimer before we jump in, several of our sources today contain some pretty politically charged material. We're talking about figures like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi, different political parties.
Yeah, and we want to emphasize, too, that we are completely impartial here. We're not taking sides. Our only goal is to report the events and the viewpoints exactly as they're presented in the original source material.
Perfect. So let's just get into it. The most immediate pressure point testing the system right now is definitely the youth of India. Which brings us to our first headline today. CJP education protests.
This is a huge story. So we're talking about the Cockroach Janta Party, or the CJP. Their founder, Abhijit Dipke, basically flew straight from the U.S. and immediately led 7,000 participants at Jantar Mantar.
Right in New Delhi. And they are demanding the resignation of the Union Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan.
Exactly, because of all these massive irregularities with the NEET UG, the CBSE, and the SSC exams. I mean, these are the bottleneck exams for millions of kids.
Right, and what's wild to me is the digital mobilization here. I mean, the CJP just started in May.
Yeah, as an online campaign.
And they already have 22 million Instagram followers. That's insane.
It's staggering. It shows you how angry people are. And they've got major backing now, too, from figures like Sonam Wangchuk and Dipankar Bhattacharya. Dipke even said he's mentally prepared to go to jail over this.
Which naturally leads right into our next headline, which is Rahul Gandhi and the CBSE whistleblower. Because it's not just street protests, right? It's digital whistleblowing.
Yeah, Rahul Gandhi recently met with an 18-year-old student named Sarthak Sidhant and this ethical hacker, Nisarga Adhikari.
And they basically hacked the system, didn't they?
They exposed major vulnerabilities in the CBSE's on-screen marking system, the OSM. And it involved this private ed tech firm called KOEMPT.
Wait, so an 18-year-old kid found this?
Yep. And Gandhi used this in a video to really critique PM Modi. He said Modi wants the youth, making reels and frying pakoras, but praised these teenagers for essentially outperforming the CBI.
I mean, I have to jump in here because if an 18-year-old can hack a national exam portal better than official federal investigators, what does that say about our institutional safeguards?
Well, it says they're broken. You have these analog institutions trying to defend digital infrastructure against a generation that grew up coding. It's a total mismatch.
Yeah, it's like open source debugging of a broken government system. But, when these systems fail, there's a real human cost. Which takes us to our next headline, Tragic Aspirations in Philadelphia.
This one is just heartbreaking. It's the story of Anshul Kuncha, a 28-year-old MBA student from Telangana.
He was over in the U.S., right?
Yeah, studying at Temple University. He was working a part-time job delivering for Pete's Pizza. And he was lured to a vacant unit at a place called Raymond Rosen Homes by a fake delivery order.
Oh, man. And he was shot dead.
He was. And the chilling part is the scene itself. They found his untouched pizza bag inside the vacant unit, and his car was just left behind outside.
Which means it wasn't a robbery, it was a deadly trap.
Exactly. It just highlights the extreme risks young people are taking when they feel forced to look outside their own domestic systems for a future.
Absolutely. And, moving from the struggles of the youth to the struggles of the actual institutions, why is this trust breaking down everywhere? It often comes down to missing data.
Oh, for sure.
So our next headline is a bizarre corporate parallel. Rajesh Exports versus SEBI.
This is almost comical if it wasn't so serious. SEBI, the top financial regulator, basically lost the original files submitted by Rajesh Exports chairman Rajesh Mehta.
Wait, how much data did they lose?
400 gigabytes.
400 gigs
Yeah.
of corporate defense documents.
Yeah. And they asked him to resubmit it. Mehta is defending himself against revenue inflation allegations. He uses this analogy to explain why the file is so huge. He says they operate on a high-volume, low-margin model.
So like selling 2 grams of gold for 30,000 rupees.
When you finally find your thing, you want the whole world to know about that thing. So you use a thing called Canva to make it an even bigger and better thing. Whether you want to create flyers for that thing, make presentations for that thing, or design merch for that thing, you can do anything. So people can see your thing, feel your thing, love your thing. The next thing you know, it's a thing. Canva, the thing that makes anything a thing.
Right, exactly. So to prove his case, he has to submit documentation for millions of those tiny transactions, hence 400 gigabytes.
And the regulator just lost it. That's friction on a massive scale. But it's not just corporate data. Our next headline is NFHS 6 missing health data.
Right, so we're going from missing corporate data to missing national health data. The Union Health Ministry is taking a lot of heat because key indicators are missing from the National Family Health Survey 6 fact sheets.
Indicators like what?
Like anemia, sanitation, and clean cooking fuel. People immediately noticed they were gone.
And the government's defense for this?
Well, they argue they're avoiding duplication. For sanitation, they say they're using the Swatch Survection Grameen survey. But the anemia one is really interesting.
Oh, so?
They dropped it because they're shifting from capillary blood sampling, which is like a finger prick, to venous blood sampling done by the ICMR.
Wait, what's the difference? Why does that matter?
Because a finger prick sample can get diluted with tissue fluid, which experts say artificially inflates India's anemia numbers. Drawing blood from a vein is way more medically accurate.
Okay, scientifically that makes sense, but politically, that looks terrible. It looks like you're hiding the data.
Exactly. And that creates a total vacuum of trust, which is exactly what happens when systems get too complex. And you see that same friction in domestic politics.
Which leads right to our next headline. India blocks John Banton meet. This is the opposition alliance.
Right. A meeting in Delhi on June 8th. You've got 23 opposition parties theoretically uniting against the government.
But there are massive internal cracks.
Oh, definitely. The DMK totally boycotted the meeting because of alliance issues in Tamil Nadu.
And the CPIM is protesting Congress campaigns down in Kerala, right?
Yep. And the JMM is upset over a Rajya Sabha seat in Jharkhand.
It's just a mess. How do you see all these connecting?
Well, think about it. Whether it's a 400 gigabyte file lost by a financial regulator, or public health data scattered across all these different surveys, or 23 political parties trying to find common ground.
It's all the same problem.
Exactly. We are watching the traditional infrastructure of governance just struggling to handle the sheer complexity of modern demands.
Right. And, it's not just political alliances showing fault lines. The literal ground is shifting. Our next headline is Bhutan earthquake.
Yeah, 5.6 magnitude earthquake hit Bhutan late at night, and it was felt across Bengal and the Northeast.
Just a physical reminder of how vulnerable that region is.
And even there, the data was fractured. The German Research Center said it was at a depth of 10 kilometers, but the IND said 26 kilometers. It just highlights the fragility of the whole Himalayan belt.
Which transitions perfectly to the diplomatic tremors in that same region. Our next headline, Nepal boundary dispute.
Right. So Nepal's foreign minister, Shishir Kanal, confirmed that Kathmandu will absolutely not seek third-party mediation in its border dispute with India.
This is over Kalapani, Lipulek, and Limpiatura, right?
Exactly. He met with S. Jaishankar to activate bilateral mechanisms. And this is a hot issue again because India's 2026 Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is going to use the disputed Lipulek route.
Which obviously makes Nepal unhappy. But then on the flip side, we have our next headline, Indonesia FM in Delhi.
Yeah, contrasting those tight border tensions, we have Indonesia's Foreign Minister Sugiono arriving in Delhi for the 8th Joint Commission meeting.
The first one in 4 years.
Right, it's building on President Prabowo's visit from January and really cementing the ASEAN-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership for 2026 to 2030.
Okay, but for you listening, I want you to picture this map. We are constantly putting out these historical fires in our immediate backyard with Nepal, while simultaneously trying to build these massive strategic bridges across the ocean with Indonesia. I have to ask, is our Act East policy outpacing our actual neighborhood reality?
That is the big question. It's the dual reality of being an emerging power. You have to play these two completely different geopolitical games at the exact same time, and it heavily stresses the diplomatic system.
Speaking of stressed diplomatic systems, let's zoom out to the global stage. It is wildly unpredictable right now. Our next headline, Xi Jinping in North Korea.
This is massive.
Yeah.
Xi is making his first trip to North Korea in 7 years.
Why now, though?
Because Pyongyang is drifting toward Putin. They sent 10,000 soldiers to Ukraine. They signed a defense pact with Moscow in 2024.
Oh, wow. So China is feeling left out.
Yeah, Xi wants to reassert his influence ahead of the 65th anniversary of their own defense treaty. And keep in mind, North Korea is heavily expanding its nuclear arsenal right now, post the Donald Trump talks.
So the predictability there is just gone. And it's even worse in the Middle East. Next headline, Iran-Israel escalation.
The April U.S.-Iran.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Ceasefire is completely crumbling. Iran is firing missiles at Israel, and the IDF has activated its defenses.
And Iran's justification for this.
They're pointing to the U.S. naval blockade and actions in Lebanon, and you have Donald Trump reacting, saying diplomatic options are basically shrinking fast.
It just feels like the old rules of diplomacy are out the window.
Totally.
And weirdly enough, this unpredictability is even showing up in sports. Which brings us to our next headline, Lord's pitch apology.
I love this transition. So the MCC literally had to apologize for the extreme conditions of the Lord's pitch during the England-New Zealand Test match.
Lord's, like the most manicured, prestigious cricket ground in the world.
Right, but the stats are crazy. There were fewer than 1,000 legal deliveries in the match.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's a first since 1888. It broke the record for bowled and pound dismissals. Captains Ben Stokes and Tom Latham were intensely criticizing it. The bounce was just completely unpredictable.
So even the best-kept systems in the world are delivering bad bounces. But, you know, how you handle that bad bounce matters, which is our final headline today, Manav Suthar's Test debut.
This is such a great note to end on. It's a story of individual triumph amidst all this chaos.
Yep.
Manav Suthar is a 23-year-old left-arm spinner making his Test debut for India against Afghanistan.
And he was stepping into some huge shoes, right?
Huge. He was filling in because both Ashwin and Jadeja were missing.
So massive pressure on the kid.
Exactly. But he was just brilliant. He took 3 wickets for 21 runs, bowled 7 maidens, and extracted an incredible 5.3 degrees of turn. Wow. His composure was absolute steel. And it really brings this whole deep dive together in a world full of erratic pitches.
Whether it's a literal cricket pitch in London or a broken education system.
Or a crumbling diplomatic ceasefire. True success belongs to those who maintain their composure and adapt their spin, just like Manav Suthar did.
That is so well said. So let's summarize the journey we've been on today. We went from 22 million Instagram followers demanding educational accountability to shifting tectonic plates in Bhutan and this high-stakes chess game between Xi Jinping and Putin.
And through all of it, we're seeing these massive complex systems cracking under the pressure.
Exactly. And young people are either falling victim to them, hacking them, or protesting them. But for you, as you navigate your own professional or personal systems today, we want to leave you with a final challenge to ponder.
Yeah, think about this.
When the pitch you're playing on becomes unpredictably dangerous, do you waste time complaining to the groundskeeper about how things are supposed to be? Or do you adapt your strategy, read the bounce, and find a way to win the game anyway?
That's the real question.
It really is. Well, thanks for listening. Keeping you informed and ahead of the curve is what this deep dive is all about. Catch you next time.